back. Lew Weiss again. We're at the Houston ISM convention, annual convention, and I'm here with Anthony Nieves, who's the committee chair of the non-manufacturing business report that comes out every month. He's also on our regular radio show once a month, along with Tim Fiore, who does the manufacturing report. And we've gotten to know each other real well over the years. So, what's new?
Oh, it was a great conference so far.
Oh, it may be one of the best, next to the event that we had with Brad Holcomb, where we honored him with the yellow jacket.
I remember that well.
I saw him the other night. He came over and very, very nice conversation.
Did you ask him where the jacket was?
I did, and he was ducking my question. I said, that means it's in the back of the closet, getting crushed by other things you don't wear. But I'm sure he appreciated it when we did that. And you only have another 100 shows or more to go before you get your yellow jacket.
Boy, 100 shows. You're optimistic.
He did a lot. He
Really?
did it for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Anthony, what's new? This is a great show.
Well, I don't know if you had the opportunity to see Janet Yellen present this morning.
Not only did I have an opportunity to see it, I had a photo op with her.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she's the only person ever that made me feel tall.
And Tim Fury and I actually moderated a session with her afterwards, a Q&A session with some senior leadership, supply chain professionals, and it was very interactive. It was great.
Yeah.
And she went a little bit more in depth about the economy and what was going on, the impact of tariffs, the lack of impact of the tax cuts. We asked her about headwinds, what she thought might be forthcoming.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And she felt that, we have to keep an eye on geopolitical concerns, what's going on with Brexit and, Italy and some of the other countries that are struggling right now in the European Union.
Yeah.
And I had asked a question about, we've now had 33 business cycles. What could be something why couldn't it go on into perpetuity? She said, well, there's always something. When we look at the last recessionary period, we had the financial markets collapse, as well as the dot-com, dot-bomb, dot-gone.
Right.
So that with all the financial pressures made it very difficult. The concern right now, and some of the things that really aren't a concern, and she mentioned this in the presentation this morning about the 2% GDP growth, and the fact that unemployment where it is, as long as the Fed does not really tighten too much because of the low unemployment I should say, things should be able to maintain. There's no signs yet of anything recessionary on the horizon.
Actually, what I recall this morning in her speech was that she felt as though that recession is not very likely.
I agree.
That's great.
And some of the things, she was actually giving us affirmation about things we've talked about on past shows.
Yeah.
Where we said we didn't want the economy to overheat. We'll take steady, sustainable growth over these, high rev situations.
Right.
Yeah. So again, the jobs report came out on Friday. 196,000 jobs added.
Solid number.
Projections are that unemployment from 3.8, they're projecting it to go down to maybe 3.5%, and it's making it tough. We were talking a little bit about personal person in my life that does recruitment. She and I speak all the time about how it's so hard to find workers, and the fact that passive candidates, people that aren't looking for jobs. And just today it came out that one of the news media said that the way you get people now is you steal them from other companies. Well,
that's old school.
That's old school. We've been talking about that for months. It's like left pocket, right pocket.
Yeah, that's old school. I did, and I don't recall the name of the company. I haven't had an opportunity to look it up, but I did hear a news item that there's a manufacturing company in the Midwest that only hires ex-convicts.
She brought that up today.
Yes, I
in
heard.
the separate session
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, because we have 2 million people in jail. Most of them are non-violent, drug-related. But it's time that we do something about our prison systems and our the criminal law system, because there's millions of people there, and the kind of training, and we did several shows on this back about two years ago, and it was what the training that prisoners get is not adequate for when they come out. So they teach them how to make clothing. Well, when they come out of prison, they're going to have to go to Thailand to get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work here anymore.
Some applicable skill set, and if we don't, eliminate some of the barriers for re-entry into the workforce.
Right.
And look, I'm not saying repeat offenders, violent criminals
Right,
should be given
right.
a free pass, but
No
in
question.
the same respect, we propagate the future existence of penal system attendees by not letting them get a worthwhile job.
And when you go for a job and you fill out the application, they have that box that you have to check if you are an ex-convict.
Yes.
And now I understand that they're looking to get rid of that because
Yeah.
it's just not right.
I know in the state of California, where I reside, even from my days at Hilton, the state doesn't let you go back past 7 years asking that question.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Good. At least somebody's beginning to do things about this.
Absolutely.
It's a terrible system that we have. So, what did you think of Carly's speech yesterday?
I thought it was great, and one of the things she brought up, which was further expounded upon in other sessions, is about running to the fire, being that first responder.
Yes. I thought that was great.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
I can tell you that type of mindset helped me in my career, because all the ugly stuff that no one wanted to address, and it would be in non-traditional areas of supply management,
Right.
we would go in there, and sometimes some stakeholder or somebody in the hierarchy felt they had a protectionist mindset about it, and once you fixed the problem and they trusted you, it was in your camp forever after that.
Right.
And so it was not about so much just making a name for yourself. No, that's got to be a byproduct. That can't be your focal point.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go in and you're trying to address the stuff that's ugly within your company and go out there and be a problem solver, and you're adding value, you will get recognized. Your team will get recognized.
Sure. There was another comment that was made, and when I go to these kind of functions, I try and come home with one idea that I could use. And it was this morning, Tom Linton, the winner of the Shipman Award, and he said, drive your business. Don't let your business drive you. And there is so much to be said for that comment, because just as you said, you have problems and you're just putting out fires. You don't have enough adequate time to really develop a forward-thinking methodology that will help you where the business is not driving you, that you're driving the business. It was a great statement.
Yes. It makes me think back to when I was in university, and this was not when Moses parted the sea or anything, but...
I'm surprised to hear you graduated.
Yeah, exactly. Especially coming from where I'm from, New York.
Yeah.
These, them, and those, right?
Dems and those.
But I had a professor, and it was a management class, and he was an aide to Eisenhower, Professor Norman Rigstrom, and his course was all about case studies of businesses with problems. And his whole methodology of what he taught us was go to the root, define the main problem, define the situation that's causing all this other mayhem around you.
Right.
You have to weed through it sometimes, but get to the root, and then be strategic in how you address it so that it doesn't become reoccurring.
Root cause analysis.
Yes, yes. And
I don't know if they called it that in those days.
whatever they want to package it, human resources changes its skin all the time.
of
It's
course.
still the same thing, right?
Yeah, right.
And I can tell you that I've had that mindset in anything about getting to the root, finding the main problem, defining the main problem, and figuring it out. At my last corporate gig, we have what they call situation and target analysis. So you do a situation, what is the current state is, the target, what's your goal, and then the proposal, how you fix it, and how you execute it.
Right.
And that's the way you do it, systemically.
My main means of income is through All Metals and Forge Group, which is the metals producer company, and we've been ISO registered now for 25 years.
Wow.
And the one thing in that program was about root cause analysis, and it's really an important function that people don't give enough time to because they're busy running their business or their business running them.
Yes.
But solving problems by finding what caused it, who caused it, how you can correct it and fix it permanently.
Yes.
And it makes a big difference. Makes a big difference.
I concur 100%.
So I understand that we are coming out with the semi-annual ISM report soon.
May 10th.
May 10th, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to book you for that show, you and Tim Fiore. He's already been told also that we're going to do that. He didn't. I asked him a couple of probing questions, and I got not a lot of answers. Matter of fact, he said he doesn't have a clue at this point.
We haven't seen any of the data. It's too early.
It is too early,
Yes.
so I'm not going to be able to get anything out of you either.
I have nothing.
I got nothing.
I have nothing. I mean, I really.
There's a New York in here. I got nothing.
I want a lawyer.
You get one phone call.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So it comes out May 10th, and the report in December, which was a good report.
Yes.
And things have January, February wasn't necessarily good for most people, but March and April have really showing good signs, especially April. So we're cooking, and I've been following ISM now for, I don't know, 35, 40 years, something. And our business always tracks along with the report. I think maybe 3 or 4 times there was some anomaly that either we weren't tracking with you or you weren't tracking with what we were doing. But I follow that report religiously, and I recommend that all of you out there who are running businesses, that you should be following the ISM business report. They're great. They're really great, and I appreciate all the time and effort that goes into it.
Thank you. I can further that, and we put up some slides yesterday in our presentation, Tim and I, and there was one slide with the PMI, the NMI overlaid on GDP, and it mirrored.
Is that right?
Oh, yes. And then we took another graph, and Christina Cahill from ISM put this together. It was the business index, the non-manufacturing over the employment, and it mapped the R factor when it was 0.89. One is perfect, and 0.6 you're starting to lose any kind of resemblance there, but it was 0.89. That's how closely it matched.
I'm going to have to get Christina to send me a copy of all this stuff. I'd like to have it.
Definitely. In fact, since I like you so much, I'm going to give you a copy right now.
You're the man. You're the man. Okay, that's great. I appreciate that. Now?
Right now. I have it right here for you.
Nothing like being pushy.
Yeah. This has actually...
Okay, everybody, you got to wait a minute because this is important stuff here.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this is going to be my reading on the plane going back home. Thank you very much. Anthony, it's been a pleasure always, and I thank you for joining us for a few minutes, and it's always good seeing you.
Likewise. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. So